Hi Tera fans, this is Tera Solo Gamer. Today we're going to be talking about the Build 108.01 notes that came out this morning. They don't actually go into effect until next week, so they do have the patch notes out there early though, so that we can go ahead and take a look at them and see what we're going to be looking at next week when they do go into effect. Now, for those of you who don't know, anytime you want to check things like patch notes, you can go under your menu to Event and then Update Details. And then that's going to take you to the browser. All right. 108.01 build note, build update. And you can see that it will go into effect on July 27th. So that'll be next week when they do the maintenance on Thursday. All right, now for your dungeons, they're going to be opening Gossamer Vault, and it says that the inner limit's going to be one time, and that's at equipment level 455. That'll be the regular dungeon, and you can enter with dungeon party matching. And you can enter the dungeon with the teleportal in Ascenian Crest, and then teleportal. And they're going to be adding a guild quest when they do Build 109. I don't know about guild quests with dungeons, but those of you who do the dungeons, I'm sure you know about those, I guess. But they will be adding that with Build 109. So it's not going to have a guild quest to begin with next week, but the next build it will. And then they're also adding Gossamer Vault Hard, a one-time limit, and that'll be equipment level 460. And you can enter it with Dungeon Party Matching. You can enter it with the teleportal at Ascenian Crest teleportal. And again, they're going to add a guild quest with Build 109. Now, these are your dungeons that will be opening next week. Cursed Anaroth Abyss, Ruinous Manor Hard, Gossamer Vault Hard, Akalath Quarantine, Ruinous Manor, Gossamer Vault, Thal Metal Refinery Hard, Calivan's Dreadnought, Thal Metal Refinery, and Ravenous Gorge 3-person. And you can see the item levels required for entry to each of those to the left there. And next week, the following dungeons will be closed. Bahar's Sanctum, Bellic Sanctuary Hard, Entros Abyss Hard, RK9 Kennel Hard, Lilith's Keep Hard, Red Refuge Hard, RK9 Kennel Gold, Lilith's Keep, and Red Refuge. And again, you can see the ILO to the left, but it's going to be closed, so it's not going to make much difference. If you really want to do those dungeons anytime soon, you better get to them sometime within the next week, because next week they'll be gone. All right, they're going to be improving the dungeon rewards. The reward of open dungeons will be changed. Item drop rate for concentrated ectoplasm will be slightly increased. Item drop rate for kind of jewels will be slightly increased. And the available rewards list is reorganized. I don't know exactly how they reorganize it, but apparently they're going to make some kind of changes to the available rewards list in addition to what was listed specifically there. Now for the system, they're going to have an overlay equipped system added. For your inventory user interface, your overlay equipment slot is added to the bottom of the style equipment slot. So we have the style equipment slot already. Apparently we're going to add an overlay equipment slot just below that. You can equip a style item on the overlay slot or the style slot with the equipment's menu. And it says the effect of style item with style face etching or enchanted fashion items are only applied when you equip these in the style equip slot. Okay, so be sure you put it in the right slot if you want it to work, I guess. Stat effects are not applied repeatedly when worn in the style slot or overlay slot. Whatever that means. I think that means if you put one, maybe if you try putting it in both slots, it's not going to work, doubly or something. That's all I can figure there. The inventory item list display format will be added. You will have an inventory user interface with 2 list display formats added. You're going to have a simplified version, which will be item icons and item names reduced in size so you can see more items at the same time. I'm probably going to try that out because sometimes it takes me a long time, especially with some of my bigger inventories, like my main character, to sit there and scroll through all of them. So it might be, that's something I'm going to try out, is that one. Then they have the icon UI, where you can check more items by displaying only the icon without displaying the item name. I can't memorize all the names of the different icons, so I probably won't be using that one personally, because if I just look at the icon, I'll be like, what is that? And I'll need the name back. You'll be able to change that option in your menu under Options and Play. For class balance, the Slayer, they're giving him several buffs. For Whirlwind, it's going to increase the skill damage by 15% and increase the casting speed. For Distant Blade, it's going to increase the skill damage by 15%. For Overhand Strike and Ultimate Overhand Strike, increase skill damage by 15%, increase the skill count from 2 to 3. For Measured Slice, it's going to increase skill damage by 15%. Punishing Blow, increase the skill damage by 15%. Overpower, they will remove the Overpower passive skill. For Savage Strike, when you're using Savage Strike, the effect of Overpower will be added. So apparently they're taking it out of the passive skill menu, but Overpower will be in effect when you use Savage Strike. That's the way I understand that anyway. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm understanding that incorrectly. And the effect of Overpower is Heart Thrust, Whirlwind, Knockdown Strike, Stunning Backhand skills, casting speed is increased by 12%, and damage is increased by 20%. In Cold Blood, the effect of Swift Linkage passive will be added. So you're going to add a linkage on there. Swift Linkage passive increases the stack count of abnormality from 4 to 6. It is improved so that the connection stack is accumulated while Swift Linkage passive is active. Hard for me to say some of that stuff all at once. But there you go. That's what they're doing. Okay, now for your Reaper, Grim Strike, they're going to change the Glyph of Energy. So if you have the Glyph of Energy active on your Grim Strike, your decreased cooldown by 5% will now become decreased cooldown by 25%. And to me, that's a pretty nice little bump for the decreasing the cooldown reduction, CDR. So apparently you'll be able to use your Grim Strike a little more often if you're using Glyph of Energy on there. Now, for feats, achievements according to dungeon reorganization will be turned on and off. So if you're in-game feats in the menu, the dungeons that are opening, those feats will be turned on. The dungeons that are closing, those feats will be turned off. For your world events, you can acquire more points with every world event. So we're going to get more points for doing them. For the Guardian Legion missions, the boss hit points for the Superior Guardian mission will be increased by 50%. And all the other mission bosses' hit points will be increased by 100%. So they're going to be double the hit points that we're currently used to. And the Superior World events, they're going to be adding 50% to their HP. So apparently, however much time it takes you to do a Superior World mission at the moment, it's probably going to take you about 50% longer after this change takes effect next week. And all the other Guardian Legions, because they're going to be double the HP, it's going to take you probably about twice as long to defeat those particular bosses. Personally, I kind of liked it being nice and easy and quick, but to tell you the truth, I had quit the Guardian Legion missions for quite a while because I almost never got the legendary tokens, which is what I was trying to farm. They would always just give you Stigma Shard, Stigma Shard, Stigma Shard, and every once in a while I'd get lucky and get some legendary tokens. Well, they had recently changed that, so now whenever you defeat one of the Guardian Legion missions, including the superior ones, you automatically get legendary tokens. And when I do the superiors, I normally get 15. Most of the lesser ones, I get 5. Some of them I get 9 every time when you defeat it. So that's guaranteed now, as opposed to just random like it used to be, and it was a very low drop rate. So I can understand, and I'm okay with this. Like I said, they're making these harder, but that we have received much better benefit. We get a much better drop because we get the guaranteed legendary tokens now, as opposed to, as a matter of fact, I was able to very quickly within a few days farm enough to, because my main character on here, my brawler, already has a level 5 power mask, purified, all that mess. With just a couple of days, I was able to do up enough legendary tokens to go ahead and get a 5 power mask and purify it for my archer. And right now I'm about halfway to getting one for my sorceress. So if you're working on something like that, but you're concerned about being more difficult, I recommend within the next week, maybe this weekend if you don't work weekends, really get out there and do a whole bunch of Guardian Legion missions, get those power masks if you're still working on those. Now for the bounty hunt, the boss of every bounty hunt mission will be increased by 50%. And again, they had changed that, so the drop rate is much better now in the bounty hunter rewards. So again, they are making it a little more difficult. Every boss for the bounty hunt missions will have 50% more HP, so it's probably going to take you 50% longer to defeat them compared to what it was in the past. So again, if you want to get a bunch of really quick and easy, do it within the next week because it will start taking you a little bit longer. And it does say you can play bounty hunt frequently. So I guess they're getting ready to increase the frequency of when the bounty hunting bosses appear and you can go defeat them. So that's a nice thing too. They're increasing the amount, how often you can bounty hunt. Like I said, I was happy with real quick and easy Guardian Legion missions, but I understand with the much better drop rates, and I'm actually pretty happy with that. I can understand. So I think it's a nice trade-off. But just so you're aware, starting next week, those will get more difficult. Now for enchantment, the difficulty of enchantment and upgrade of Stormcry, Heroic Oath, will be decreased. So your enchantment success rate is going to be much better for those. The enchantment advantage when you fail equipment enchanting or upgrading will be increased greatly. I don't know how much greatly is, but right now if you're getting a 15 or 16% chance on your enchants, it should be a much higher percentage chance after this patch goes into effect next week. And the maximum item XP value is reduced, and the chance of correction per item XP is increased. So to max out your item XP to get the maximum potential bonus to get a better shot at enchanting, that maximum item XP is going to be lower. So you won't have to farm as much for Island of Dawn monsters or Sealy Wood or whatever your monster choice is when you're getting your item XP built up. A little bit less farming for that. And the amount of the item XP that you do accrue, you're going to get a much better chance, a much higher percentage as you do increase your item XP. So those are all really great things. Now, I will say a few months ago when I put my video out there for the Tera's 5th anniversary, I showed everyone the Tera 5th anniversary tokens that you could collect every day for free just by being logged in. And I showed you how easy it would be to give a character a full set of Praxum. So I hope most of you out there already have a full set of Praxum on your main character at least, because you could only get one of each piece of Praxum per account on there. And actually I used it because my main gamer tag, I didn't really need it for any of those characters. One of my alternate gamer tags, my main one, I think maybe still needed a belt, so I gave them a belt. And then my next one needed a couple pieces, so I went ahead and gave them a couple. The next one after that, whatever was left that I could give them, I gave them. Because you could only do one piece per account. But then on my other 3 gamer tags, my main characters on each of those, I believe had Heroic Oath, but basic Heroic Oath 0. I went ahead and collected the tokens to give all 3 of those main characters and the other 3 alternates a full set of Praxum. So again, I hope everyone took advantage of the Praxum while it was available during the Tera 5th anniversary coin event, which is now over. But I did have that out there in one of my videos, so hopefully people saw that, paid attention, and went ahead and got your Praxum. But if you don't have Praxum, or if you're like me and you have a ton of alternate characters, a few of which you may want to go ahead and upgrade your Stormcries or Heroic Oaths, well, right now, starting next week, not now, next week when 108.01 goes into effect, it will be apparently greatly, according to them, easier to enchant your Stormcry or your Heroic Oath. So if you are working on enchanting those up, wait till next week to work on it. Right now, go ahead and farm for your materials that you're going to need. Maybe farm for gold. Do whatever you got to do, get some more gold. Prepare yourself and wait until after this build goes into effect next week, and then actually do the enchanting of them. Go ahead and work on your, building up your mats and stuff now to stockpile and be ready. Because if you just wait a week, then it's going to be a lot easier and you won't have to waste as many mats on it. And some other improvements. You can dismantle the Relentless Etching 5. When you dismantle the etching, you can get 2 incomplete etching scrolls. You can exchange various powerful etching 4 with incomplete etching scrolls. And the collection target quantity of quest tickets is adjusted. Now, I have not yet tried these Glory of the Valkyrian Federation quests that you can pick up from Highwatch, from one of the merchant guys there. He's right next to where you enter for the Pit of Patrax. He's next to that guy. I haven't tried it yet because they had mentioned before there were going to be changes coming to it, so I was holding out. Plus, I've been focusing on some other stuff lately. But for the Glory of Valkyrie Federation 1, apparently currently takes 50 tickets. Beginning next week, it'll be cut in half to only needing 25 tickets. Glory of the Valkyrie Federation 2 is going from 150 to half of 75. And Glory of the Valkyrie Federation 3, currently 300, being cut in half to only 150. So those will apparently be considerably easier and quicker because the number of tickets necessary is going to be cut in half for each of those levels. And there's a bug fix next week. The bug that pulling the Fangs quest can't clear will be fixed. Pulling the Fangs is, of course, one of those quests that you do while you're leveling up and stuff. I wouldn't worry. Pulling the Fangs had an issue right now where you couldn't clear it, but they're going to fix that next week. So if you're kind of stuck on that, hold off, and next week it should be fixed when build 108.01 comes out. All right, so that's it for the build update notes. Again, it doesn't go into effect until next week. It'll be after maintenance, I guess, next Thursday on the, I don't want to say the wrong date, 27th, July 27th. So that's when it will go into effect, and all those changes are going to happen. They do not yet have the July, I hate when that happens. I was in the browser too long, so it kicked me out again. They do not yet have the July event notes out there, although the previous thing for the June events had said that would be ending next week on the 27th. So I'm assuming the July event notes will be out there soon, and when they do, I'll go ahead and do a separate video for that, because I sometimes do these combined if they have the stuff out at the same time. They don't have it out at the same time. So that's it for today. Until next time, enjoy Tera and happy gaming.